hereby call this meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club. We hereby call this meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club to order. I'm Brielle.
And I'm Hayley. And welcome to part 2 of our post-Throne of Glass discussion, a.k.a. our Throne of Glass post-mortem. Foolish mortals.
Our sadness, yep.
Our sad, yep, exactly. We're so sad this series is over. It's hard to move on.
It's already been a little bit.
Which is why we haven't moved on. We're still talking about it. And probably
right
will
where
forever.
you left me.
Right where you left. In part 1, we sort of went over like some of our
3 different sections. So we
disappointments, surprises.
And our 3 defining, yeah. So
3
we
defining
really,
moments.
it was fun to like really like talk about some stuff from like earlier in the books that we didn't get to really chit chat about too much before. So.
I know. It's fun to connect them all in this way.
Yeah.
So today it's going to be more fun, I think. We're going to give out some superlatives. Basically, we're going to share our favorite magic moments, romantic moments, favorite couples. I did a favorite quote.
I did not.
All right. First, we have a few things to discuss.
Yeah.
First, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, no.
So
is it more candy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have candy here, first of all. My Halloween candy bowl. So you know how I have Isabel with me every week? And she sits with me and is my, like, emotional support couch friend? Aside from you. Well, I realized you don't have one, so I brought you one.
It's been in your sweater this whole time?
Yeah, she's a little sweaty.
Pansy, what
it's
is
Pansy.
she doing?
Rapunzel wants to sit with you.
She's so cute.
It's like at a sleepover when like your friend comes to your house and they don't have their stuffy. You give them one of yours.
Aww.
It's like that.
Her hair is so long and luscious.
I know. Very full. There she is. So
Thank
now
you.
Rapunzel and Isabel can hang.
I thought you were going to give me a stuffy of ketchup.
Oh. If anyone knows of an Etsy creator or someone who has made a ketchup, like ketchup from Animal Crossing, a ketchup stuffy, we need it.
She's so cute.
I'm sure they're out there. I've seen like crocheted ones that are so
sure.
cute.
Yeah.
But like something like this, I would love it.
Oh, little ketchup.
No, just tiny little Rapunzel today.
I know, I love her. Thank you so much.
Yay! So she could sit with you.
Wow. Do our green eyes match?
They do. You look just alike. You just need a little dress. I have questions for you. If you want to do those now, or we could do fangirl moments of the week.
Let's do fangirl moments of the week first before we get yippee.
Okay, good idea. Idea. Yeah.
Like real yip.
Cool. I think we might have the same one.
To be very honest,
you probably have several.
I have like 5.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. I don't really know what to do. But they're all kind of repeats. I can just do a quick list.
Sure.
Okay. Big Brother finally ended, and I'm so sad that it's over.
I know.
But I love me a good finale. And I was excited about who won. But I'm most excited that Janky still lives.
I know. It was so reassuring to hear that Janky lived.
Seeing his little soul float back into his body absolutely killed me.
That made the season 100%.
I hope they did that specifically so they can like maybe bring Janky World back. You know?
I feel like it was probably successful.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It was like my favorite. Some of my favorite moments on the show ever. And
then they ended it like singing the song again. And everyone was like, nah.
Oh, it's so good. And I love the comps in Janky World. Yeah. So much fun.
I know.
Wait.
I'm sad that's over.
Oh, Janky. If only we could have gotten the Janky merch in time. I know. Could have worn it today. We have to get some, though.
Some Janky merch?
Yeah.
Maybe my birthday next year will be Janky World themed.
Perfect. Perfect.
Obviously, everyone and their mom is just fangirling over Agatha.
And
I could go on forever talking about it. It's so good. And then once again, also, all of the Wicked stuff is just so crazy. I've never seen a movie.
Market so heavily.
Yeah.
In this way.
It is insane. Like, we saw a lot from Barbie last year.
This is on a whole
in terms
other
of
level.
like collabs with other brands and merch and just like external type of like
tangible
merchandise that most movies don't ever do.
Totally.
We saw a little bit of that with Barbie.
Especially before a movie. Like after a movie comes out, then all the merch comes. But like they're going
it's in
balls to the wall.
Insane.
Yeah.
But
it's going to start a trend.
This is why I wore my REM Beauty sweatshirt today, because the REM Beauty / Wicked collab finally came out. And it's beautiful.
I know.
And I grabbed a couple things because I just had to.
You'll have to do a tutorial.
Yes, I will do a makeup tutorial.
With just those 2 items.
This is all I'm wearing today.
That'd be cute.
I got to the counter. They didn't have the lip oil that I originally wanted. I was like, fine, it was meant to be. I don't need to get both. Like, it's fine. And I just got the Galinda drops because it's beautiful. I just wanted the bottle, mainly. And then so I get up to the counter and they have a couple of the lip oils up at the counter. I was like, damn it, I had to buy it. She was laughing at me, and I was like, God damn it,
you have them.
But it's been an overwhelming fangirl.
It's been a good week.
Yeah.
And the clip of Jonathan Bailey singing Dancing Through Life has sent everyone into an absolute frenzy.
One,
obviously.
Why are people acting like they're surprised?
True.
But 2, it's too much.
Because like the girlies who loved Jonathan Bailey, like originally, like those of us who have known about him for a while, know he can sing. Because they've researched him.
All I ever do, I fall
and
asleep
watch the last 5 years videos.
Watching his audition for the last 5 years.
So
he
like,
also
did
a musical, and he was on the West End, and
and he trained in ballet.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah. I've been listening to that nonstop.
I know. Just the tiniest little clip.
Oh, we are so lucky to be living in this time. Truly. Okay. What else?
Me?
Yeah.
What else did I fangirl over?
Yeah.
I think that was my list.
Okay. We have one more.
We collectively we
have
another.
It happened on Saturday night.
Oh, well.
A no-brainer.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that as, but yes.
People who didn't even watch the episode are fangirling over Ariana hosting SNL.
It's been 3 days, and she already has SNL's TikTok's like most watched video.
Yep.
3 days. Out of every video they've ever posted.
Yeah, surpassing, what is it? Oh, the Timothy Chalamet, Pete Davidson video from a while. That was a long time ago now, so that's crazy.
I know, in 3 days. Oh, it's so funny.
It's genius.
Because people, once again, I don't understand how or why, underestimate her. And like, I don't know how you guys keep forgetting that she is insanely talented and hilarious. And like, I've only been obsessed with her my whole life for no reason. But yeah, her popping up and not only like hosting it and doing it wonderfully, but like she was in almost every sketch.
I know. And that never happens.
Yeah, they're not usually in almost every single one of them. And her impressions, it's like she
had a different voice for every single one of her characters, like full change. Antonio, what is it? Castrato. So good.
Oh my god.
I mean, did you watch the rest of it? So what was your favorite sketch?
My favorite is probably Antonio, because that's just so funny.
Yeah.
And she pulled it off way too well. It was hilarious.
We know that she's goofy enough to do something like that, but it's still shocking. Like, I'm sure it shocked so many people.
Just her facial expression throughout the whole thing was, I don't know why.
Pure acting, like true acting.
So good. But the one I'm like most impressed with her was like the mom.
The game night mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was just not expecting.
She killed it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not anything we've like really seen from her before, and it was just.
And I loved that it wasn't even like a harsh accent. You know, it's not like an easy sort of like out there accent. Like, it was very refined and like she had practiced that voice for that role in a sketch. Like, she's genius.
It was so good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
What did you fangirl over?
I think that was the one that I thought we were going to say.
Oh.
Yeah. I think my favorite sketch was My Best Friend's House. Because I, like everyone else is saying, I just had no idea where it was going. It was funny enough. It was just like so silly and like Pee Wee Herman-esque.
Yeah.
And then the twist was like, oh, this is right up my alley too, though. Oh, it was so good.
It's right up her alley too.
Oh, yeah.
She loves Halloween. And
little scream queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
It was really good. And I've been rewatching all of the sketches like so many times.
What is your question?
Well, this one is hard, and maybe I'll ask you and then you can think on it. But you might have one right off the top of your head.
Okay.
So on the topic of Ariana, what would you say is your favorite Ariana performance in general? Like any SNL, on a talk show, like as a guest appearance in her concert, like anywhere.
Oh my God. Imperfect for You on SNL is definitely one of the top ones.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's amazing.
Jason's song, I think, was also SNL or another late night show that she sang with Jason Robert Brown. Is one of her best songs. It's not even directly on any album or anything.
Because I love when she does Still Hurting.
Oh.
And I won't say I'm in love.
I was going to say her other Zoom. Like, it's so funny to me that she
many.
did that all on Zoom and then, like, put it together herself. And then I was like, here you go.
She's insane. Just so prepared.
The last 5 years is good, too.
This is a popular one, but I do love her performance with The Weeknd. The viral one. I do love that song also.
That's hard. Those are definitely in my top.
Well, you should rank them.
Every performance ever?
I don't know.
I probably could easily rank. I think I saw a filter of it. We should do it. Of ranking her albums.
Ooh, yeah.
Those are at least some top 2 ones that I can first think of.
Iconic.
Yeah.
Do you want another question?
Sure.
Do you have any Gilmore Girls skippable moments? Like parts in a rewatch when you're just like, I don't need to watch this again?
Is this because you didn't want to watch the fight part?
Yeah. I don't watch the last few Jess episodes.
Anything about Lane in the later seasons because it's too depressing.
Yeah, that's good. I just watched the part when Dave has finally had enough and he goes to Lane's mom and he's like, I stayed up all night
the whole Bible?
And I can't figure out what that saying was you said last night. And she says it's Shakespeare. Da, da, da. He's like, what? Just let me take your daughter to the prom. And she's like, all right.
Oh, that's another fangirl.
What?
I watched Nobody Wants This.
Ooh, it's so good. I haven't finished it yet, but I do love it.
It is cute.
It's super cute. Easy, nice, lovely watch.
Yeah. I feel bad because I know a lot of people also don't understand the April hate, but I just can't stand it.
It's tough. I try and get through it. It's not her fault,
it's just the way they like wrote her, and like it doesn't make any sense that like Luke just wouldn't have told Lorelai, and then that he like tried to hide it for so long, and then once she does find out the way she gets so pissed, like, and then she's just there, and then it's ruining, like she's the reason they're not together. Like it's just the whole part of that character in general just
yeah, the later seasons are
sad.
Like I'm almost just like I might be done with this rewatch because I don't Mainly, I don't want to see Lorelai date Jason.
Oh, you're not a Jason.
I don't know who could be. I would take Christopher over him. I'm not gonna lie. Ugh. Yeah, he's so gross to me.
Just because he's like in her dad's world.
Yeah. He's just not cute. Like, she had Max Medina and then this guy.
That's the other thing. Like, I can't stand that she's just like, I'm just not gonna marry him.
I know. The decision was right, but the way she handled it was wrong. Yeah. Way wrong. All right. Well, maybe these are questions we can think on too. Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Wonderful.
That was it. Okay, now we have to talk about Throne of Glass. Blip, 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 blip.
All right. Part 1, we did 3 defining moments for each of us. We did 3 letdowns throughout the whole series and 3 surprises throughout the whole series. And we said, for all 9, we all said different things.
We did,
it was nice to like get
We're so different.
But yeah, we have kind of our little superlatives. Or just our best ofs.
And we can riff too. Like, if you think of any that you want to mention, I'll think of something.
Cool.
Okay, great. So we want to start with best magic moment.
Yeah, like what was your favorite example of someone using their magic?
I honestly did write 2 for each, and I think in the moment I'm just going to choose one. Best magic moment, I think, has to go to Aelin stopping the dam. Is that yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're the same.
Same.
I mean, like, because already that moment was just so heightened with a lead.
We got sassed.
We got Shrek'd, okay? We got absolutely Shrek'd on TikTok.
Embarrassing.
I mean, rightfully so. Like, we did not do the proper research in pronunciations for these names. And in turn, our entire, 18-episode series is all a lie. Our 18-episode YouTube book club is a lie because we've been saying Elid's name wrong. And we're sorry, okay? We're sorry.
I also still say Manon. Mentally.
In my mind.
I always have to stop and think.
It is Manon.
I say Cole. But that's the power. It's the power of reading.
I know. But we have to admit, we should have just watched Sarah J Maas's YouTube video where she says all the names. We should have just done it.
I guess so.
We gotta respect the characters. We want to live in this world so bad, we gotta respect their names.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Elid. Anyway, this moment was already so heightened because Elid had just saved Lorcan, or was in the middle of saving Lorcan. They were about to get. We thought they were going to die together.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, they weren't going to make it.
Yeah, because they're like he's professing his love to her. It's this big change in him, and then I always think the worst, I guess. And I'm like, they're goners, but this was a nice moment.
Well, he was going to jump off so then she could go faster.
Oh, my God. Fly! And then, suddenly, Aelin just steps in front of the dam and is like, makes her fire. She turns the entire dam to steam.
Yeah, she evaporated it. But then it was too hot, so Rowan kind of had to cool it down with the wind.
Before it hit and melted everyone on sight.
That would have been not funny, but
And that was the Battle of Ennio.
But she ended up making it worse.
Yes. Oh my God.
But no, I also loved it so much because it is identical to a scene in X-Men when Jean Grey gets out of the airplane ship thing. She's limping out of it because they all just got in because a dam just broke and a ton of water is about to
hit
everyone and the plane thingy, and they're all getting in. They're putting on their cool little X-Men shaped seatbelts. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
And then at the same time,
what did Logan do?
At the same time, Logan and Scott realize that Jean's not in the plane.
Oh no.
And they're like, wait, where is she? And at this point they're like in a really like squawk like love triangle situation. So they're both the dudes are like freaking out, where is she? And they see her, she's limping out of the plane, and with her powers she closes the latch of the plane so no one can come out to try and get her. And the reason like they weren't taking off because the plane wasn't working, so she like helps the plane turn back on, and she's like literally like lifting it, making them fly away, and with her other hand she's like stopping the water so it doesn't like drown the plane.
Dang.
And then she's like looking at them and she's like crying, and then she like lets her hands down and like the water takes her away.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
But anyway, that when I was reading that, like that's just like what made me think of it, because like everyone was like, guys, look, and everyone was like looking and they're like, oh no, what is she trying to do? And it was just like so clear in my mind because I was just thinking of little old Jean Grey. But
That's
yes,
awesome.
beautiful moment.
I have my second one
Yes.
too. This will be our backup in case we do have all the same ones. I put Dorian learning to shift generally as my favorite magic moment, best, most memorable, I don't know, but it's something I wasn't expecting at all. He already had his magic, so I just wasn't expecting him to gain a new skill so late. And the fact that he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna learn it, was so awesome. And I mean, I would say that's some of the most vital magic that's used when he is able to like conceal himself in Morath to get the word keys. Mm-hmm. Although at some point he had Maeve helping him, but still couldn't have happened.
And the fact that he like practically stole it from Serene, too, was such a dark moment. He like murdered her and then took her magic. It was kind of like, oh.
But even cooler that it was coming off of Manon luring the Iron Teeth to the Crocan camp, knowing that some of them would die, Crocans and Iron Teeth would die. Like, she did what she had to do, but it was dark. And then like Dorian was kind of mad at her for it, but then he sort of did something like sly too.
That's why right afterwards they like got in that little bicker because he was like, no, I don't really blame you. And she's like, oh.
Yeah.
But then she was like, wait, what did you do?
Exactly. I love it. Can you think of any other magic moments that you loved? Well, we'll just do our bests, because they're all great.
Any shifting that Lysandra ever did?
I mean, the
very first, yeah. That was such a cool moment.
That was some of the most helpless I've felt, like reading a circumstance that they were in. Like, again, so sure Rowan or Adian was going to die. Like, this is it. And it's just a great instance of like one of these female characters comes to save the day, but then boom, she's also a ghost leopard.
Nesryn saved her real quick too, right? Like, she was about to get
and Nesryn fired an arrow
at like someone that was gonna like hit
Lysandra
or something.
Not in that moment,
right after the gates something.
Yeah,
in that same relative end of Queen of Shadows type of.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one after the other of those moments. So good. Anyway,
what's your best of or favorite non-magic moment?
I have two tops for this too. What do I want to choose? I put number 1 next to this one, so I guess that was it at the time. I'll read that one. So I think my favorite non-magic moment had to be. Oh wait. This means the first time, not necessarily my number 1, the first time this happens. But anyway, I'll read it. Manon versus her grandmother. The first time she rebels. Because this truly was truly the first time we saw Manon choose choose a side. Mm-hmm. And it took Astrid being on the line for her to do it. And then that fight where she finally gets to unleash on her grandmother for the first time was just so good. Mm-hmm. I suppose, you know, witches in general, they're sort of magical, but these witches don't have magic unless they make the yieldling or
yeah, it's such a bummer that their only like magical trait is that you just have to like kamikaze it.
Yeah, I know. They're so the witches are so emo. It's crazy. Anyway, what's your favorite non-magic or your best non-magic moment?
It had to be a lead. Saving Lorcan.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it just for the main person, the main character that doesn't have magic to pull off like a feat like that, or like such a good rescue moment. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't have magic was.
Oh, what a moment. And this was also kind of the first time someone who was mad at one of the others like kind of forgave them. Because we've been dealing with Lysandra and Aelin fighting and then Lorcan and Aelin fighting. And so finally, like, we get this big romantic gesture. Mm-hmm. And it's just also the most badass moment.
Yeah. I was thinking, like, I don't need to go back into a tangent of how maybe deep down she really does have some sort of magic.
I know.
Or a power. But I think she does. Yeah. Because I was thinking on it, and you were saying you just think, like, maybe she just somehow is, like, power of persuasion or, like, something of, like, that. But, like, what if she's, like, almost like Domino from Marvel or, like, in Deadpool?
I don't know what that is.
In the second one. Domino. Her power is just luck.
Yes. It's been like 10 years.
Since you watched Deadpool?
Yeah. Oh, Deadpool. I'm thinking of Daredevil.
No.
Okay, yes. I'm back. Yep. That's true.
She's just kind of got like luck on her side.
That's good.
Whatever that means. Because how did she find him? Even in that disaster, that mess. And how did she can get him up on that horse? And how did she she just kind of like.
And that goes with that. You could say the same for like all of their interactions. Like, how did she happen to find him in the first place when she was traveling through the woods? Yeah. Well, he found her, I guess. But
I mean, I guess maybe the first whole part of her life, she was not very lucky.
She got the circus to let them join. She was just, it's luck and persuasion. Yeah.
I don't know.
She's the best. Yeah.
Anyways.
That's good. Do you want to hear my honorable mention?
Yeah.
I get to have them because back when we did our ACOTAR Fan Fest, you just like 2 or 3 things. But you'll like this one. I think my other one was Selena versus the Rebels when she goes to save Kale because he'd been kidnapped by them. She didn't know they were on her side. One of my
defining moments.
Exactly. And
just so good.
Oh, reading that was like the most exciting thing. The way, because like we'd been hearing, world's greatest assassin, and then finally she unleashes, and it was
beautiful,
great. Because you gotta honorable mention for Selena the assassin. Great non-magic stuff there.
Yeah.
Ooh, what is your best or most? Yeah, what's your most romantic moment?
Oh, I have 3.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2, but yes, okay. Right.
So I'll just list them off. One of my favorite moments of the whole series, which I feel bad. I just never got to love Rowan as much as I feel like I should or wanted to.
I'm in the same boat.
Because one of my favorite moments of the whole series was when Sam finally like admitted and caved in and like angrily told Selena that he loved her. And there's like dead bodies all around them and it's like pouring rain. But then they like make out. It's
so romantic. It is.
It's hot. Like there's the anger type of, I think that's like also why I told you I kind of liked Aelin and Lysandra of like they're just when there's stakes and like when there's like drama in it and like so of him saying, earlier he said, blah, 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 I'm just leaving so you don't even have to make the choice because I know you would choose Arabin over me and like stay with him over coming with me, blah, 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 blah. So then after she just like murdered everyone and then he's there and she goes, oh, you fool or whatever. Like, I would have chose you. Like, I would. I'm like, oh my God. Why can't you let it go? Like, why can't you forgive Arabin for like what he did to me? Like something like that. And that's when he confesses that it's because I love you. And she's like,
it's so good.
Yeah. That's just one of,
I agree about Rowan though.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're going to have this one. You're going to want to say it. So I'll wait. My other one was actually a lie.
How could you?
My other one was actually a lead saving Lorcan. So as a most romantic moment, I think it's quite a romantic gesture to save the life of the person that you love.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was scary, but at the same time, it was just romantic in general because then he, in return,
when he said that to her, I think, or really any a lead in Lorcan moments from there on out, the end when ask me to stay, ask me to go to Paranth with you, ask me to marry you. It's like, that's probably the most romantic to me, the way he says it. Yeah, I think like the back half of Kingdom of Ash, Elite and Lorcan in general, is so good. Now you say it. Do you want to save that one for last?
Sure.
Do you have any others? You have two more.
Oh, my other one is Aelin pulling like a Schmidt, and he basically said like, "Girl, I'm gonna marry you. Like one day I'm gonna marry." Like he
does do that.
Yeah, but he like said that to her because she was like injured as a sea dragon laying on the beach, and he was and he was trying to like keep her like
he was
awake.
Yeah.
Because she was
when she's laying out as a sea dragon on the lake.
Romantic.
I'm gonna marry you.
But he was trying to like,
No, it was really sweet.
Yeah. I just loved him saying like, I've just known since like the moment I saw you. Like you're gonna be the one I'm gonna marry. Like,
yeah, no, it's sweet. I love it.
Anyway.
No, I do love it.
What was the number one most romantic moment of the entire series? I loved you before I even met you.
Ding, 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 ding. Nezrin and Sartak at the end of Tower of Dawn. I was not expecting it at all. I just was not expecting such a freaking romance out of those two. And it only spanned a few pages, really. Because the first part of their journey was kind of...
Well, then she decided, because he did that so she could get away.
I know.
She just went back. She went in further and went back for him and found him in the cave. And then she got captured too.
It's so good. It's so sweet. I mean, and like it only started as little like flirting. Like he flirted at her and she just didn't know what to do with it.
Like since the second he met her, he was like, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
You want to go for like you want to go fly with me?" And she's like, "What are you?"
I love that. He's all for it the whole time.
Because
and
he
lets her. Yeah. He lets her.
I love, like, once I read that and I realized this, like, he wasn't just, like, flirty.
Yeah.
But, like, he knew of her. So that means, like, when he met her, he was so excited to meet her.
He's a fangirl. He's a Nezrin fangirl. That's why we love him so much.
Same. And to not be able to continue any of that.
It's a crime. It really
Kingdom
is.
Of Ash.
Yeah,
really,
like, an interesting thought to, like, have Tower of Dawn be its own massive story, kind of, only to have the two quickest relationships formed out of it, and then just sort of
toss them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think individually, Kale and Irene did their thing in the last book, but they didn't do a lot together, well, other than make a baby.
I mean, they met and ended the book.
Yeah.
Married, and she's pregnant.
It's just so quick.
But
they're the most romantic relationships.
Both like that. Dude.
They really are both. Yeah. Oh my god. Because they're really only nice to each other. I think the other couple, truly Empire of Storms versus Tower of Dawn. Like, those couples are all...
That's true.
Got a little toxicity to them, which is great.
Yeah, that's true.
They all just fight, and then they're so sweet with one another. No. Kaelin and Irene had some... Like, a day of tough times.
I mean, she really hated him, I guess.
Yeah.
How were Aelin and Lysandra in Empire? No, they were... That was when they were, like...
They were good the whole time.
Flirty friends.
Yeah. I mean, but the end.
Yeah.
They're like...
Well...
Rough.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, coming off of that,
mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite couple of the whole series? Is it Nesrin and Sartak?
I wrote 3. But it's literally just the 3 couples that I mentioned in those 3 most romantic moments.
Okay.
Yes. It's mainly, Sartak and Nesrin I think had to be my favorite.
Mm-hmm. Aw, cute.
But then there's lots of moments that I do love of Aelin and Lysandra.
I would have thought they are your favorite overall.
I just love Sartak.
I know you do.
But deep down, I will always have a special place for Sam and Selena.
Dang, deep cut.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Thanks.
I don't know why I was never a Sam girly.
Oh my god. It doesn't make any sense.
I obviously cried. I cried reading Assassin's Blade, but then I sort of forgot about him.
Because he died?
Yeah, I guess so. But I never got really that invested in Rowan either. Maybe at the end of Queen of Shadows, I was excited about it. Because that's when the romantic feelings came about, I guess. But
because they never had any fun. They never had any...
It's so
tension.
Serious.
They either were literally beating each other up, which I don't count as romantic tension.
No.
Or they just started laying in bed and like holding hands and slept together.
Right.
And then besides that, like, they didn't have any like flirty. That's why the moment like with the golden nightgown is like the best moment that they have in terms of like a flirty moment. You know.
Yeah.
Besides that, there's nothing.
I do feel like part of me thinks, okay, so a lot of people, well, it's been circulated that SJM's original plan was to have Rowan only as her mentor and have Dorian and Dorian and Aelin as endgame. Mm-hmm. And I certainly don't agree with that. But I did like Heir of Fire and that relationship that they had of like mentor and prodigy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think maybe I was ultimately disappointed that it went that route.
I think there should have been more
build up,
tension, flirtiness in Queen of Shadows.
Yeah, it kind of just flipped on its head
to make everything else later make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there wasn't that moment of us even wanting it to happen.
Yeah.
So by the time it already just happened, we're like, oh, it's already happened. You know.
Yeah.
The whole point of a good romance, regardless if it's romantasy or whatever, like, is that whole time like you're wanting it and the build up. Mm-hmm. When is it going to happen or how is it going to happen? So then when it finally does, it's satisfying in any way. But it just, I couldn't even tell you when it happened. It just did. And that's what I think.
I think it was just so obvious so quickly.
Yeah.
Like the sharing the room. Because, like, yeah, sharing a room in Heir of Fire was way different than sharing a room in Queen of Shadows. Because it really was, like, because he wasn't in the first chunk of the book. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly he showed up and it was, like, all romantic.
Yeah.
It's
but
like,
not even
okay.
but not really. Because he was like, oh, I don't want to touch you.
Yeah,
and
but
she was
you
like,
could
look
tell.
at me. And he's like, don't touch me like that.
But you could still tell, like, there was a reason why he didn't want that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, not to be a hater. I love Rowan.
I would have loved Aelin and Dorian. Story-wise, it makes so much sense.
Yeah. But.
And I also love, like, the story, like, it could have been with Aelin and Rowan. But, yeah, there's just that something, I don't know.
Something missing. So, he also lost a lot of his character.
Yeah.
To become her consort. And,
yeah.
That just brought a different, simpy side to him.
Yeah, he
was just like her puppy dog the whole time, kind of, and I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fought her on things, but ultimately, like, let her kind of, she was always going to call the shots no matter what, but you know what I mean.
I know, obviously, look at it. I know there was a lot going on. But yeah, I really wish he had some sort of secondary plot line purpose to his character that he kept.
Yeah. There could have been a lot, maybe more of him interacting with, like, the aftermath of him leaving Dorian and him in contact with his family there, you know, that whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rowan. Love you.
I don't know what
there are
it
better
is.
couples in this book series.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Where were we? You like Sam and Selena.
Ugh. I don't understand how you can't, but whatever.
I think it's too soft for me. He was just a little too, got really simpy really quickly. I didn't like that.
Really simpy really quickly.
Yeah, just like so all over her.
But that was a thing of like, it was almost like a Rizz thing of like learning.
Yes. I don't.
Everything he did before that was because like.
I know. And I don't blame the kid for finally feeling his feelings. Like, express yourself. Now.
Feelings aren't your thing. Is that why you... Oh my God, I think we just discovered your problem.
What's my problem? Oh no.
Whoa.
I don't have feelings.
No! You're like the trope you're always like complaining about. But it's just because like it's always the guy that like never can express his
Jess from Gilmore Girls. Jughead Jones in Riverdale. But when he does, it's so sweet.
Yeah.
It's like when he does,
when he finally
it's good.
does,
But like, it's a
very hard journey.
It's like the broodiness. Who else?
Dorian.
Yeah, there are a lot, I think. But,
oh, that's so funny.
That's true. I like to keep, they keep it locked in. And that's probably why I love Manon and Dorian is my favorite couple ever, because they're both like that.
Yeah. They're both the trope.
Her even worse than him.
Yeah.
And that colliding makes for the best tension.
But then what did you want their ending to be? It would have gone against who they are as characters if they had any other ending.
That's also my problem. Is like, I like it's like
Whoa.
the friction.
Yeah.
And then after the togetherness, I'm like, boring. So, yeah. I think, oh God, Manon and Dorian, though, somehow still complement each other so well.
Yeah.
I think she does bring out a totally different side of him. Or enhances what he already had.
A side of him that he needed, especially in this war.
I know.
Like, Sorsha was sweet and nice, and, like, there's parts of
R.I.P.,
that relationship and, like, parts of her that he obviously, like, needed and, like, really helped him. And
I don't remember what, though.
Well, at that point, he was so, like, much more, like, meek and docile in terms of, like, he was terrified of stepping out of line. And, like, yeah, or just any of the magic, and he, like, didn't understand it, and he was scared, and, like, because he couldn't show that he had magic, obviously. Yeah. His daddy-o would have...
She was just kind of like a study buddy, IMO. Yeah. But, no, you're right, because she was risking herself by helping him. And, she totally represented that cause fighting back against, the rulers or whatever, the king, just in a smaller way. And then ultimately a bigger way.
Paid the price.
Paid the price. And
but
Dorian
also,
paid the price.
She got caught for her own dumb reason. It's literally because she left a note in the trash can.
Yeah. It's like...
You're going to be a spy for, like, a rebel, like, and just leave the note in the trash can? Like, what?
That was her bad.
Girl.
That was her bad. And because of that, Dorian became a Valk Prince. He became possessed. And because of that, he met Manon, who then brought Dorian out. That's so cool.
So
I just love them. You're right. Maybe I should accept the ending. Maybe I should accept their ending.
Because
the open-ended.
if they got together and were happy, you wouldn't like them as much.
This is what always happens to me. Why is it the same? It's always open-ended. Riverdale, they died, but like also, it was basically open-ended in the jumble because we never went back.
Because they got into a quad.
They got into a quad, but that was in the 50s. If they'd gone back to present day, who knows? Oh my good God. Thinking about those last few episodes really makes me so angry. Like,
what a fun time.
No, it was torture.
Oh, come on. Sitting down and watching that last season was really wildly entertaining.
Every damn week we waited.
Like, what is happening?
We waited for something to change. We waited for them to go back to present day, and they never did. And I cried about it every single day. Every week. 27, 28, what were we, 29 years old at that time. And I'm sitting there crying over Riverdale set in the 50s. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, not to go on a tangent. Yeah, my favorite couple is obviously Manon and Dorian.
Dorian.
I think nothing will ever beat them. Ever. In my literary experience. Aelin and Lorcan are a close second, though. Because he's got the he only likes her vibe, and I love that, too.
Yeah.
It's all trope-based.
Yeah.
We're learning.
Wow.
Okay.
I love it.
Ooh, this is a good one.
Our little superlatives now?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
What's the first one?
Best Dorian Rizz moment.
Yes. I have one, and then I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
My top this is Dorian Rizz.
Yeah.
My top Dorian Rizz moment has to be I'll bleed whatever color you tell me to.
Yeah.
Possessed. Let me remind you.
So funny.
He's possessed by a Valg prince. And he stands there and tells Manon, Blackbeak, wing leader, I'll bleed whatever color you tell me to. I was saying this earlier. It has altered my brain chemistry for the rest of my life. Also, the Phantom Hands scenes in Empire of Storms. What's yours?
Little assassin blade Dorian.
That was
your honorable mention?
Yes. Wait, what did he say?
Oh my God.
It's so good.
This is the main reason you need to read Assassin's Blade 3rd. It's just specifically for this one scene.
Yes.
Because else you would not have known, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's not fun.
It's not a pertinent moment in the book either, so it's easy to forget if you don't know who the character is.
It means absolutely nothing to you otherwise.
That whole scene is like in comparison to everything else. Yeah. Right.
But the second they walked in, I was like, oh, I knew it was them. It was so good. And they're like, oh, Kale's there too. And then like she clearly is thinking like, oh, and the other one looks like he doesn't really want to be there. And it's just so cute how you can pick up on exactly who's who and everything. Anyway, so this is Selena's like having like a fun time because she's like out at a nice little party and she's like drinking a little bit. She's like having fun and she just wants to dance. And this is before Sam confesses his feelings to her, so she doesn't know yet, but we're starting as the reader starting to understand now that we think he might. So she sees unnamed boy walk in and she's like, oh, he's like a cutie pie, like, and he walks right up to Selena and she's feeling it. She's feeling good. She's a little bit tipsy. She's like dancing around. And he's saying, oh, what's your name? And she goes, this part also wild. She practically says, like, I'm nameless. I'm whatever my creators want to call me.
Interesting.
Crazy.
That's cool.
And then he goes, okay, fine, but let me call you mine for a dance or two.
Like.
And she ate that shit up. She was like, yes, sir. Yes, please. And that's when Sam steps in between them and he goes, she's accounted for. And like he gets all like,
jelly.
I love, so good.
Oh, it is so good.
And the fact that later you, like, but we know that she will meet Dorian obviously later and then, like, love dancing with him. Like, it's so cute.
Yeah, you've got to read it third. You can't miss that connection.
Because then there's no way.
It's so exciting.
After that, if you're like, okay, I read this book first, now let me read Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
And, like, you're not going to remember that one scene and be like, oh, is that one scene back in that other book? These two?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even going to think that at all.
Exactly. But right, when you're reading Assassin's Blade and the character is described but not named, you're immediately trying to make that connection. Mm-hmm. And it's obvious that it's Dorian. And that's so exciting. It's so good.
So good.
Her boys. Okay, next. Best Aelin scheme. I wonder, we'll probably have the same one.
This is also one of my favorite moments in the whole series.
Okay, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, and Empire Storms.
Oh, no, it's not the same.
Okay. The double Aelin moment in Rolf's office.
Oh, yeah.
And her, like, with her, just something about, I think that's, like, the last moment we ever see Selena, like, assassin-y.
Yeah.
Selena. So it's also so special in terms of that. Like, seeing her in that element again, I was like, there's something about her as sassy assassin Selena that I love that part of her so much more than, like, warrior.
Yeah.
Obviously, she goes through a lot of shit, so then she just kind of gets sad and depressed, so I guess it makes sense. But I just love, like, yeah.
I wonder if
assassin Selena so much.
And that's why you kind of can forgive her being sort of caricature-y in the beginning. Like, you read the first few pages of the first book and you're like, oh, this definitely feels YA. Like, there's a lot of exclamation points and her thoughts, and she's just sort of, like, very silly.
Which is silly.
But right, when you think about her as that Selena, like, later on, it makes it more special. Right?
Yeah. She just is so quippy.
Yeah.
And something about her specifically, her and Rolf, is just so funny, and, like, the dynamics between them. But yeah, her sitting at his desk with her feet on his table, just and then, like, that's one of my favorite actual, like, Rowan Aelin scenes in that moment when she's like, oh, and you, like, she's trying to, like, flirt with him and act like she doesn't know him, and Rowan's just, like,
eating it up.
Yeah. Kind of laughing at her. And
my favorite Aelin scheme is Adian's rescue in Queen of Shadows.
Oh.
On a more serious, it's very, like, dramatic and built up.
Aelin,
but I mean,
an Arabin scheme.
And it is technically an Arabin scheme, but she executes. And, you know, it's just like the whole plot of it, from infiltrating the dance team.
I really wish it was just, like, a hip hop team that went in.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Instead of ballet dancers.
Anyway, no, the dancers, and then she uses the word marks to surpass the protections or whatever against her in the castle. And the way that, and I reread it today to, like, remember it. And when Aelin sees, he sees a dancer in the crowd, but she's a little bit taller than everyone and a little bit bulkier. And then suddenly he doesn't see the dancer anymore. Then suddenly the crowd parts a little and up walks the same person, but she turned her tulle skirt into a cloak and was, like, just stalking towards him, like, looking all assassin-y. And the way that it's described, that they kind of, like, grin at each other. She's, like, looking up at him.
And for the first time, he, like, met his cousin's eyes or something.
Yeah. And then death, like, rained upon them or something, like, the whole world, like, erupted or something. It's so great line.
What do we got?
Ooh.
What is your favorite Manon, like, badass Manon moment?
I didn't have this written down, but I got this. It's probably I guess it would be the second time she fights her grandmother. And she just is basically telling everyone, step aside. She draws the line and only she crosses it, and then just, like, annihilates. And Dorian's just, like, watching in awe. That's good. Really good moment.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying. the juxtaposition of the 2 times that they fight and the different person that she has become is incredible.
Yeah. Mine is just the, like, written in blood on the wall. Just like the human is still inside.
Witch killer, the human is still inside him.
It was just so, like, her first act of, like, oh, she's might help them. Like, why is she, you know,
the
like,
first glimpse of like, oh, that's also like one of the most romantic moments, I would say. She saves his ass so many times. Lys. We're also, I think we're saying Lysandra wrong.
How?
Lysandra is what people say.
What?
Lysandra.
No.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a Shakespearean sounding name than Lysandra.
Well, we also just say Lys.
I say Lys. So, okay, our favorite Lys shifting moments.
Yeah. Mine just has to be the very first.
I know.
The very first shift in Queen of Shadows. Because at that moment, it's the first time we see her shift at all. And what does she shift into? The one thing Aelin ever said, oh my God, please do not shift into, like... and then she saved him in
by
the ghost
becoming
left.
a ghost.
Yeah.
Right.
Obsessed.
The defiance is what gets me about her.
Yeah.
She's just like, you tell me to do one thing and I'm going to do the opposite. Yeah. Or whatever it is you hate to like bug you.
Yeah.
I love that about her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wrote that down too. But I think also for me, I like cried at how beautifully written this scene was at Skulls Bay when she becomes the sea dragon. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it was, the pacing, the flow of it, like that was the most viscerally I could picture what was happening. And just like her movement under the water, her fight with the other creatures, so good.
I know.
I think the way she like describes the scales, the color of the scales and all that, and everyone in awe of her, it was just like, that was so good.
What is your favorite Lorcan sassy moment?
Oh God, I appreciate the little moments when they first rescue Aelin, and he's kind of the only one to sort of bring levity, and I think Aelin notices that. Like he kind of continues to act himself with her, and I think she appreciates that.
Not like pussyfooting around her.
Exactly. But I think my favorite sassy moment has to be ask me, because I consider this sassy and romantic. Ask me to stay. Ask me to go to Pranth with you, and ask me.
Oh, you thought it was like kind of sassy?
Yeah, I think the way he delivers it is sassy. What's yours?
One of my favorite ones was same of terms of like after they rescue Aelin and everything, and she finally goes up to him and is going to offer him the blood oath.
Oh yes.
Before she offers it, she walks up to him and stares him right in the eyes, and she goes, "Are you coming to Terracin with us?" And he just looks her dead in the face. After everything they know that she's been through and that he saw that she went through and everything, and he goes, well, I'm certainly not going there for the weather. So, and she just like, takes a moment and looks at him, and she goes, okay, well, it's just so fun. Yeah, it's a good example of like, he didn't treat her any differently, or like, but also at that point he was so sassy within those like few chapters because everyone was just shitting on him nonstop, and everyone was so mean to him.
I know.
And that he like lost all care, so he was just like really sassy and just like really, it was hilarious.
Yes. No, that's a great moment.
Staring at this, I think I might have to change.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
I'm very torn about.
Are we gonna go one after the other or at the same time?
We can do it at the same time. Add dramatic effect.
Are we giving reasons?
We can like chit chat a little bit, because I know I'm already gonna be mad about what you put at 8th.
I know. Okay. Okay, so this is our official Throne of Glass book ranking. So we each ranked the books, 8 being our least favorite, and 1 being our favorite. Okay, and we're gonna do it at the same time. Are we saying them at the same time?
Yeah. Or do that one
too?
Yeah,
yeah, we could do that. So number 8, ready?
Yeah.
I'm scared. Okay.
Why are you scared?
I don't know.
Because I'm going to get mad.
We're going to fight. Okay, ready? Number 8, our least favorite book. 3, 2, 1.
Throne of
Tower
Glass.
of Dawn.
Don't you?
What?
Wait, did you really put that at 8?
Yeah. I did for one reason and one reason only.
Just because Dorian's not in it?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I'm sorry. It's just fact.
I was pretending to be mad because I thought you were going to put
Assassin's
Blade at 8th, but I'm actually like so...
No, but Assassin's Blade had a glimpse of Dorian. So it ranked
You can't
higher.
base it off of Dorian.
I did. I ranked them based on Dorian and my favorite characters.
No.
It's just how I feel.
Oh my God.
Listen, I love all of these books. I don't know if I could have gotten through Tower of Dawn on its own. I think I could.
Tower of Dawn is one of the...
It's amazing.
Like, better, like, as a book.
I know. Yeah. I had there's a reason I read the tandem read from March till, like, June. Because I couldn't get through the first half of Nezran and Sartak. That's a main reason. I'm sorry. It's just true. Why is Throne of Glass at 8 for you?
Just because it was the first one, and it was hard for me to root for Selena at that time because I didn't know her yet.
Yeah.
So at the time, it was just like truly, I felt like more along for the ride, and I was just kind of like trying to understand it and the world and everything, and we were just meeting everyone. And yeah, it felt a little bit more young adult.
Yeah.
You can tell she wrote it when she was a teenager. And just chronologically,
Yeah.
it's the first book. So I just, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think mine makes sense too.
Okay.
Okay, number 7.
Just because Dorian's not in it, I could not.
I looked forward to the Dorian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was very interested in his journey. Okay, ready? Number 7. 3, 2, 1. Assassin's
Blade.
Oh, okay. Assassin's Blade. I loved the pirate stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love pirates. Love them. And I loved meeting Ralph. At the time, I didn't know what the hell was going on in Inish. I was like, what's happening here? I think it was a little choppy for me.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, I wasn't the biggest Sam Selena
It's also like
person.
short stories.
Yeah.
So the choppiness makes sense.
Yeah, I put it down for a bit longer in between, I think.
Mm.
Okay. Why Crown of Midnight?
I think it's important, obviously, for the whole series in terms of, like, that's when we're finally learning about the beginnings of certain
lore.
things. And she finds the basements and
So
we're
fun.
figuring out word marks and everything. But just the first half of Crown of Midnight is very difficult to get, not through. I still enjoyed it, but, like, understand and get into because we're learning about these things that you don't even understand until the last 2 books why you learned about these things all the way back then.
Yeah.
So it was hard in the time of like, I'm learning about these things, but like we didn't know why we were learning any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the main thing that like was missing for me in that book.
Yeah.
The last, obviously, again, like, 100 pages or so in her books are always so great. And I love the end of Crown of Midnight for so many different reasons. And it has one of my favorite moments of her, of Selena like running and saving Kale and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Some good moments.
So it has some great moments in it. But like as a book, it was, just, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Okay. Great. Number 6?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Assassin's
Throne of Glass.
Blade.
Okay. I'm surprised that you ranked it
I know.
a bit lower.
This is what I was torn of. Like, I couldn't decide if I wanted it 6 or 5.
Okay.
But I'm trying to think of, like, as a book, again, it was short stories all put
Just
together.
the enjoyment of reading it. Yeah.
I loved it. And overall, like, if I'm thinking of it, it's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
But, like, as a book itself, it's 4 short stories.
Sure.
So it wasn't, like, a through.
Yeah.
Kind of was, but yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes total sense to me. Throne of Glass. Yeah, same reasons that you had, I think. Because I did like the champion trials.
I wish we saw more of them, though.
I wish there were a bit higher stakes involved in that. Well, I mean, not that the stakes weren't high, but I'm saying maybe the danger level of them, or like, I also wish we'd gotten to see Celaena give him her all. I mean, I guess the point is she would have smoked them, but it was sort of like you just had to buy into it and believe that she was. Then she got kind of shreked by Cain at the very end.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what's going on with this girl?
That's why, yeah, it was kind of hard to be like, she kept saying, like, well, I'm the world's best assassin. And then we were like, what? Where?
Yeah, there's not a lot of proof until Crown of Midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We're getting into a neutral zone here, I think.
Yeah.
Is this 5?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Heir
Crown
of Fire.
of Midnight.
I was torn between where Assassin's Blade or Air and Fire would go, because, like, in terms of, I like Celaena and Sam more than I liked the beginnings of Aelin and Rowan.
Yeah.
But in terms of the whole series, and yeah, like, as a book itself, it was a little slow. Again, it was like it took us out of, like, the story we were already in.
Yeah.
And we're in this new place, and we didn't know why, and she was just trying to figure out and shift, and he was angry with her, and we were just like, what? I don't know. There was a lot that I was indifferent about.
Yeah.
But I understand, like, why it is so important for the series in itself.
Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
Crown of Midnight, I think it has, like, my second favorite ending in the series.
Mm-hmm.
I love the ending of Crown of Midnight, but it doesn't have Manon in it, and so it goes in my back half. And that's really it. So
good to know.
Yeah. Number 4, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Heir of
Empire
Fire.
Storms.
Number 4.
Yeah.
Why?
There's a lot going on in it that it was hard to see and understand what the clear, like, plot line of Empire Storms is.
Yeah.
It worked well in terms of reading it as the tandem read, because it was, like, felt truly like, wow, we're jumping back and forth between all these places, all these people, all these things. But, like, thinking of, I don't know how I would enjoy just reading Empire Storms, because in its own book of itself, it felt very much jumping between so many people still.
Yeah. No,
Whereas,
that's true.
like, I get why Tower of Dawn was completely separate, but it almost, like, I wonder if it would have been helpful to have Tower of Dawn also have one other person, like, pull someone's POV from Empire Storms and put it in Tower of Dawn. So then Empire Storms wasn't so choppy in itself.
Yeah. No,
I love the book, and obviously so much important stuff happens and everything, but I don't know. It was still a bit of a wild ride.
Yeah, it was.
But I didn't feel like there was any levity in it.
Yeah, that's
so, like,
fair.
And sometimes you need something that's going to feel a little bit lighter in moments. Like, it just felt so the whole time, and then the ending was so
unbelievably heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I needed something.
Phantom Hands, you could argue, is probably the lightest possible thing you could experience.
I suppose so.
Some levity there.
That was definitely some levity.
Air of Fire, okay, it would be lower if it weren't for it being Manon's intro book.
Mm-hmm.
The second she was introduced, I was all in. I am so in love with her. But that said, I did have a tough time getting through a lot of the Dorian stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think seeing her so low bugged me. And again, she was valid to feel that way.
Yeah.
It was just similar to like reading ACOTAR and Feyre being so depressed at the beginning of Mist and Fury. Mm-hmm. Like we forget that that's part of it, but she's so lost.
Mm-hmm.
And it killed me, I think. It just made me sad. And I hated that for Aelin and Air of Fire. It also sucked, like, them separating Chaol and Dorian and Aelin, and that was hard to kind of...
Yeah, like, Dorian and Chaol weren't, like, really talking at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, like,
And I did not like the Sorcia stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of it. There was a lot of it that I had a hard time with. But the witches and meeting the wyverns and all of that was just like, oh, are you kidding me? What the hell? So
early Manon, like, witch stuff is so...
She's so...
I guess I don't understand or see how any other way she would have introduced it all, but it just felt so out of nowhere.
I know. It's so
that
abrasive.
It was just like, what? It was so weird.
But I loved how different she was, but, like, has similar spirit. And so it was sort of like the theory... You know, that was the first time a lot of theories were building up in my head. I was like, are they related somehow?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
These two, like, maybe queens. Like, it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that. I liked that. The mysteriousness of early Manon was so good. Okay, top three. Top three. It's crazy that we have a different top three.
Yeah.
Number three. Ready? Kind of different.
I feel like this is the last different one.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Tower
Kingdom
of
of Ash. Wow.
You put that third.
I put Kingdom of Ash third.
Why?
As epic and genius and perfect as I think it is, it is a wrap-up book and tying loose ends and things like that. And there are just moments in my other top two books that I enjoyed or loved or mean more, I guess. But yeah, I still loved it. Loved it, of course.
Yeah.
And I was disappointed in the ending. So, what about you?
I put Tower of Dawn at 3. It was hard for me to do if it's 3 or second. But just like if you're like taking it completely out of the series too, of like a book of itself, it is just such a good story.
Yeah.
And it's so almost murder mystery.
It is.
Rather than, it still has fantasy, obviously, but like, yeah, it just felt almost so much more of a mystery.
That's cool, yeah.
That I loved so much of like, who's this murderer, trying to figure it out, and trying to figure out like Chaol's insecurities and, you know, understanding this character that we've known this whole time. We met him as early as we meet Selena.
Yeah.
He's the second main character, you know? And I just thought it was so interesting that we finally got to fully jump into all of that and understand and see and learn all the healers and then re-meet this character that we met forever ago that we didn't think we'd actually ever see again. And then it was just so cool to see her and understand the healers and everything, all of that. And then obviously I just loved the Rux and I loved Sartak.
Cool.
And I just loved, like, the royal family and, like, getting to learn all the dynamics. It was just, like, such a good story. I hated how sad parts of it made me in terms of, like, the scene of Kale first going to, like, that training.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to overcome and, like, still training in the chair and stuff. And, like, or what was it, like, the girls, like, laughed at him on the horse or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's
a lot of, yeah.
I think it's such a good story. I don't know.
Huh. Maybe I shouldn't have put it at
Loved
last. No.
Yeah, the murder mystery of it just, like, was, like, her, like, Irene in the library, and someone was, like, saying her, like, whispering her name, and then chased her, and then she found the other dead healer, and it was just, like...
You're gonna love Crescent City.
Oh, that's true.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So good.
That's good. Okay, number 2. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Kingdom
Empire
of
Storms. Wow. Do we have the same number 1?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. Empire of Storm. Okay, why is Kingdom of Ash your number 2?
Honestly, it was hard for me to put number 2. That's why I was like, I was so close to putting Tower of Dawn 2 instead. But not only is Kingdom of Ash, like you said, like the wrap up of everything, and we get like the biggest aha moments and things like that. But honestly, like, it was just so impressive to see her tie in every single thing flawlessly.
Yeah.
That it was just like impressive as you were reading. You're like, oh yeah, this from that book, and this character came back, and like her having every character ever come back besides Cook and Kid.
I know, dang. Disappointed.
I will forever be disappointed about them.
Weird.
Yeah, it was just so cool to see everything tied in and the way it all was for a purpose and a reason, and everyone had a specific
role.
Yeah, it was just really cool to finally see all of that. Figure out all the whys of the whole series. It was just...
And that's a feat for that many characters. It's
oh my
impressive.
God.
It's so good.
I think, as a book, that would not be the one that I was like, oh, you know what? I want to sit down and reread that book. Yeah. Not only is it obviously so long, but it, again, it's just so kind of depressing.
Heavy. Yeah.
That it's just like, it barely had any levity in it.
I know.
It was really hard to like root for much because everything just kept feeling so heavy. But yes.
Love.
What about you?
Empire of Storms was number 2 for me because Dorian, Phantom Hands. Those are the best scenes. Mm-hmm. Some of the best scenes in the series for me. Well, I think like just so cinematic. Her, like Abraxas showing up with her, knowing where to find help, and the gang all finally getting together. I loved that. And I guess those were the only moments of like, well, at least they're all together, so everything's going to be fine now. And then just like the annihilation of the end of the book. Not the best ending of the series, but it definitely made me be like, I need to know now what is going to happen to her. So, yeah. No. It's a crazy book. Yeah. Crazy book. But yeah, some good Dorian and Manon stuff. Well, and huge Manon stuff with like...
in general, yeah.
You know, saving Astrid and all that was crazy. Wow, I'm surprised. Okay, so our number 1 is Queen of Shadows. Wow, I'm surprised that this is your number 1 as well.
Everything else was different, but at least we got number 1 the same.
I did not think you were going to do that.
Really?
Yeah.
As a book overall, it is the best book.
It's so good. Every POV, everything is interesting and like what's going to happen.
Magic coming back, like it's just
a lot happens. Adian's rescue.
It's too good. The Arabin, like the fact when Arabin coming back
Arabin
in general
stuff. Yeah.
Like we talked about last week, Arabin is my favorite villain. Like he's better than Erewhon, obviously. Better than Mate. Like he's such a good character. So having him back and seeing her outsmart him and him try to, it was just
so good. And I think like Lysandra and Aelin's friendship beginnings, so touching, so good. Rowan showing up and like that's such an iconic moment. the Woods meeting with Manon and Dorian.
Yeah.
That's the reason. I said brain chem altered by Princeling Witchling.
I cannot.
Yeah. I will have it tattooed on me one day.
It's just
The whole book.
Of a story, like, yeah.
The ending, like a literal glass castle shattering.
The
and
ending of Queen of Shadows is the ending I wish we got in Kingdom of Ash. Like,
yes.
The Aelin Dorian team up, the magic, the dramatic reveal of that, like, his dad isn't Erewhon or wasn't actually evil. Like,
we get a whole crazy Manon Aelin fight. That's so good.
Yeah.
And then that connection is formed. We get things from that. It's like unbelievable.
The human is still inside him.
That's when we learn about Astron's backstory. Like, so much happens.
Yeah.
A lead is introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah, ton. And, like, we start to see that crack in Manon. Adian and Kale has this, like, literal underground, like, operation.
Oh, I love
it's so
that.
fun.
Yeah, it's like meeting Nesrin and, like, that he...
It's just the best book.
Like, coming back, Aelin, like, coming back with her and learning that, yeah, like, Kale left is obviously losing his mind because he left Dorian behind and, like, all of this, but then is not also dealing with seeing Aelin again. But she, like, it was just so, like, the dramatics of it all.
I know.
And, yeah, it felt so Hunger Games in that way of, like, figuring out that there's this whole underground, like, rebellion going on. And you're like, this was happening the whole time? And that Kale's now running it? And, like,
So he's, like, on her team, but not, because, like, now they're fighting about what to do about Dorian, who's literally possessed by a Valg. It's crazy.
So good. And I love that, like, that fight of them, of, like, she was like, no, we need to put him out of his misery. They both think they're helping him.
I know.
And, like, they both are just so, like, oh, it's so good.
It's a great instance of the three of them in their relation, like, just moments with the three of them only. About each other are so good. It's just great. It's so great. That
just
book,
like Arabin's death. Yeah.
I was in it. But when I read Queen of Shadows, I was like, oh yeah, there is no going back. This is amazing.
Well, yeah, once you learn, like, once the magic's back, you're just like a whole other...
So good.
World opens up, and then Lysandra, the reveal of, like, Rowan can somehow sniff it on her that she's a shifter, and that's how we find out. So she, like, calls him out, and she's like, God damn it. Like,
I know.
That's one of my favorite, like, Rowan moments, because that's one of the first, like, that's one of the good examples of that we actually see
Rowan.
Who, like, Rowan is. Like, he's kind of sassy in that moment.
Yes.
And, like, calls her out, and, like,
he loves brutishness.
He loves to talk shit, and he, like, loves to, like, he just loses it. It's so disappointing.
So thank you, Queen of Shadows.
Yeah.
For keeping him alive.
Oh, good.
Great book.
Yeah.
Yeah. If only there was some Rolf sprinkled in somewhere, then it would be a perfect book. Some pirate stuff.
Yeah. Rolf and where's Hansel?
And Hansel. Their spinoff.
She would be a cute little pirate king. Come on.
I know.
King and queen.
Yay! Okay, so that's our ranking. I love that we have the same top book. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
I don't know what yours would have been, but yay!
We're gonna go argue now.
Yeah, we have to fight. We have to fight in the alleyway behind my apartment. Perfect setting.
Not the underground
under
rebellion.
The fluorescence.
Oh my god.
Okay, well that wraps up our general Throne of Glass, like post Throne of Glass chat.
We'll talk about it more.
But we'll continue to talk about it because we want to talk about some Throne of Glass X ACOTAR theories.
Collab.
ACOTAR theories in general, but how it weaves into Throne of Glass. And we'll see if we can finish Crescent City at some point so that we can finally know what those tie-ins are. We can talk more about it. But first, are we going to talk about what's coming up? But before we do our ACOTAR discussion, because that could take us the whole month, we have a special discussion to be had in the spirit of the season, in the spirit of Halloween.
Stranger season.
We need to talk all things Stranger Things and have ourselves a little theory therapy.
We need to pull back our emotions that pumped through our veins 2 years ago. First of all, 2 years ago is insane.
I know, as that 4th season came out. Yes, you're right. After the 4th season, because this is what okay, I am a diehard Stranger Things fan. OG, like, it is top 3 favorite series of mine. When it comes out, you're like obsessed. Like, I can't think of anything else. I'm thinking about my theories. I'm watching the video, like anything I can get my hands on. But then after a couple of months, it sort of the dust settles, and it's like you're on to the next thing. Yeah. But there's nothing like the high of when a new Stranger Things season drops and you're right back in it.
Like, I'm scared.
I know. Yeah, we're going to be insufferable.
I'm scared.
So we need to get some thoughts and feelings out first in preparation
so many theories
for the next season.
Yeah. And it's the final season. Like,
I know.
Just like we how everything is going to tie up. It's insane.
What's going to happen to our favorite characters? They're all our favorite. Who might come back? What it all means. I know. So yeah. So next on the list is we're going to do a little Stranger Things theory therapy for Halloween. Yeah. So that'll be next. Switching gears. Totally switching gears. Yeah.
Which will be fun.
Sorry for the whiplash.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, we're officially done.
I know. They'll be back. I have faith. This meeting of the Fan Ghouls Club is adjourned.
Yay.
Yay, we did it.
Thanks, Throwing a Glass.
I love you, Manon.